podcast party. Descent into Avernus.
My name is Hylan. My friends and I just escaped from Uldrak's grave after grabbing a mysterious magical orb. Now we're being chased across the plains of Avernus by devils driving infernal war machines.
The Ragawagon peels out of Uldrak's grave, leaving a plume of dust, soot, bones, and other assorted gross things behind in its wake. The two vehicles that have been closing on your position make a distinct turn to match your trajectory. They're about 100 feet behind you. Corbin, you're on top of the Devil's Ride motorcycle, correct?
Yeah, but I'm invisible.
You've got two pursuers. One, this enormous demon grinder-like vehicle, bruised and scarred with lots of damage from some kind of battle that it has escaped from. It's got spikes and flames all over it, extruding from the sides. It's got a chomper just like yours. It's got a ball whacker just like yours. And directly to its side is a smaller vehicle. This one you saw at Fort Knucklebone. This one is called a Tormentor. It looks more like a dune buggy compared to the enormous truck size of the demon grinder Ragawagon that you and one of your pursuers have. It's got bladed iron wheels. And when I say that, I mean that the wheels themselves are literally fans. So as it propels forward, it just spews up all this dirt and enormous detritus. You could tell that if you fell under the wheels of this, it's game over. On this Tormentor, there is as well a harpoon flinger. So whereas yours has two, it only has one. There are crews of devils on both of these vehicles. The Demon Grinder vehicle has about 8 of these screaming, chittering, bearded devils with their beards being pushed back by the wind as they hang out of the sides of the Demon Grinder. And on the other side, on the smaller vehicle, on the Tormentor, there are 4 barbed devils. Let's roll initiative.
Everyone except Corbin gets a +3 on their initiative.
Amazing.
They're inside my aura.
My second initiative in a row, that's a 4.
Yeah, these are bad.
So mine should be a 13.
Hylan got a 12.
My Twilight aura's still up.
Yeah.
Everybody gets 14 10.
Great.
So Lulu should be technically getting an 8, and Wizen should be technically getting a 10. Hylan and Renascence, you both got a 12, so you can choose who goes first between the two of you.
I'll go second.
Ofelia, you see 100 feet behind you there are 2 vehicles. You can certainly man a station. There are 4 stations to be manned on this vehicle. There's the chomper, which is the thing in front, one of the 2 harpoon flingers, and then in the back, there is a wrecking ball. Which one of them would you like to man?
I am going to woman one of the harpoon stations. So
all right, which one, the port or the starboard side?
Oh, the starboard, obviously. It's a much cooler word.
You put yourself into the harpoon flinger.
Yes.
The harpoon flinger has a range of 120 feet, and you have 10 harpoons to shoot.
Awesome. I sure do want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off harpoon number 1. So I've rolled an 8 to a 10.
So you fire the harpoon and it just sails way over the closest vehicle.
That was a warning shot, I yell out.
It's the end of your turn, so please roll a d20.
That's a 12.
If you roll anything higher than an 11, nothing happens. We're moving on to Renascence. You have no complication. What do you want to do?
Renascence is in the wrecking ball station, and I point upside down devil fingers at the Tormentor, and I just fire 2 Eldritch Blasts at it. That is 120-foot range on the Eldritch Blast, so I should be able to hit it. Okay, first attack is an 18.
That hits it and just ping! It hits off the front of the vehicle and just bounces off. No damage at all.
Okay, then for my second shot, I will take a shot at one of the bearded devils on the Devastator, and that is a 15.
15 will hit.
6 force damage.
You refocus and shoot your second Eldritch Blast. It lands squarely in the chest of this creature and it cries out in pain.
So I should roll a d20. 7.
Oh god. Oh god.
Uh-oh.
A 7. The vehicle is driving, right? You guys are all... And Wizen, you hear him say, "Oh God, hold on to your hats!" And you just feel like your stomachs come up into your throats as the vehicle drops down a 10-foot ledge and crashes into the dirt of Avernus. This enormous pile of dirt and silt and what is that in your mouth? Fingernails, gross, and bugs all fly into your face. So anyone who's not secured in a station must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or tumble off the vehicle, taking bludgeoning damage and landing prone on the ground. Lulu's flying, so she doesn't have to worry about it. Hylan, it's you. I think that's it, because Wizen's secure.
Hylan, you do have a +3 on the save.
Here we go, everyone. This is fun, huh?
You got this.
That's a 25.
Yes.
You feel the enormous bulk of the machine land into the dirt. Lulu's like, "Oh boy!" And then covered with red and black dust, all of you. But you're all safe.
I was about to have Renascence apologize for it, but I guess in-game, Renascence didn't do that. Tal did it. Yeah, okay, all right.
Good job, Tal.
Yep.
Hylan, it's your turn.
Okay, Hylan is going to run to the port harpoon station. Okay, I'm going to shoot a harpoon at the Tormentor vehicle. That's a 17 to hit.
17 will not pierce the Tormentor's massive armor.
Damn it.
It just pings off the side of the Tormentor. Okay, roll your d20 for your complication for the next person in the round, which is the Barbed Devils.
Complicate them.
I did.
You complicated them.
So I got an 8.
The uneven ground in front of the Tormentor sort of makes the enormous vehicle sort of shudder as it rolls towards you with these enormous wheels. All of these Barbed Devils will have to make dexterity checks. Otherwise, it will slow down the vehicle
Awesome.
because it will make it difficult terrain. The DC is 10, and all 4 of them have to pass. Every single one of them passed.
Damn it.
It is now their turn. This is a moving scene. You guys are all sort of rolling through this canyon. The Barbed Devils do have ranged attacks. They are going to hurl flame, so each one of them, in tandem with one another's efforts, throw 4 bolts of flame through the air. Their range is 150 feet, so they can hit you. Necessarily aiming at any one of you, so I'm going to go 1 for each of you. 1 at Renascence, 1 at Ofelia, 1 at Hylan, and well, I guess 1 at Wizen, since Corbin can't be seen, so they wouldn't throw it at something that they can't see, so they're gonna have to throw it at Wizen. 4 flame attacks. First one against Renascence. That's a 17.
Miss.
Second one against Ofelia, a 9.
Miss.
Against Hylan, that's an 8.
Yes, miss.
And the fourth one against Wizen, a 13. Wizen's AC is 14. It misses him. So there's this
All
enormous
right.
Yes!
like shower of fire, and you guys are all like, duck! And boom, there's this shower of sparks as the Barbed Devil's attacks miss all 4 of you.
I scream from the wrecking ball spot and just stick both middle fingers in the air behind me.
Nice. All right, it is now Wizen's turn. Wizen revs the engine, and as his action, he will push this machine 100 feet to the west, through the canyon, to this amazing area where there's a bridge over a giant vat of lava that you guys are gonna have to go
Great.
over.
That seems safe.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to make a dexterity check to not hopefully ram the vehicle into the side of the bridge over this giant river of lava. Yeah, that's a 15. He just barely makes it. Oh gosh! He bounces off the rails of the bridge and is able to push the vehicle past the bridge and 130 feet using the demon Anker.
Corbin, it's fine. It's easy. You're not going to have any problem.
That's Wizen's turn. Lulu has no station, so she just offers some encouragement. She's like, "Oh gosh, I do not like moving vehicles. I prefer to fly, but I will do what I can." And she just sprays her trumpet of sparkles in the air, making sort of like almost like a firework of positive energy over
Yes.
you all.
Nice.
Complicate them, Lulu.
So let me do Wizen's. Wizen rolls an 18, so he's fine. Lulu rolls for her complication, which would be on the Bearded Devils. She rolls a 17, so the Demon Grinder Devils are, in fact, fine. That is Lulu's turn. The Bearded Devils now, they will move 100. Yeah, because their speed is the same as yours, 100 feet towards you guys. And that is the sort of main one's action, but the other 7, they just have melee attacks. So they don't do jack shit on their turn. So all they can do is roll a d20 for the next person in the order, who is Painbearer. Corbin, Shiv. Complication, that's a 2. Oh, that's on you, Corbin.
Shit.
Here's your complication, sir. As you drive, your Devil's Ride is actually faster than the Demon Grinder.
Great.
Can I just jump the bridge?
You do have the ability to do that.
I move 60 feet to where I am now, and then if I move at least 30 feet, I can clear a distance of 60 feet over a chasm ravine.
Yes.
So Corbin's just gonna go, "New water!" And he's gonna just jump right over the bridge, the lava, everything.
Does he jump over the rocket wagon?
I think he does.
I can jump 60 feet.
Oh, this is incredible.
Slow motion us, all of our heads craning over it.
Lilith's like, well, there's
amazing.
something you don't see every day. So yeah, now you're in front.
All right, then when he gets in front, he's gonna steer off to the left a little so he doesn't completely block the road.
Here's your complication. When your Devil's Ride lands, out of the side of the canyon, creatures appear. They sort of like burrow out of the sides, having heard your landing and of course all this ruckus. There are like 10 or 15 of them. They're probably no bigger than, I don't know, maybe a foot or two tall. They're basically just all legs, and they don't even really have a head. It's just like a torso with a mouth. And that mouth has just giant teeth.
What?
Just a whole bunch of these creatures just burrowing out of the side of the wall of the canyon here. Go ahead and make an Arcana check, folks. Or religion.
I just got a 9.
Reticence got a 15 on the religion check.
Ophelia got a 22.
Corbin got a 10 on the religion check.
Ophelia, you know what the hell these things are for certain. Something called an abyssal chicken. This thing is basically just legs, a mouth, no eyes that you can see.
So gross.
And like some kind of weird like tail appendage that's sort of up behind it, and a long serpentine tongue.
A very like H.R. Geiger kind of face on it with no eyes.
Yes, no eyes at all.
Yeah.
And there are like 15 of these things, and they start to chase Corbin.
Well, they chase the motorcycle, unless
That's true.
they can see me. Maybe they have blind
Well, they
sight.
don't have eyes. They have blind sight. So they see you. Okay, so yeah, you've got a whole bunch of abyssal chickens chasing you on this motorcycle, Corbin. You have done this amazing jump.
How many of them are within reach of me?
Probably like 5 of them.
I'm gonna dash. I'll take the hits.
These abyssal chickens sort of like jump at you on top of the motorcycle. What's your AC?
18, but I'm +2 because I'm on the motorcycle, so it's 20.
So only one of these 5 actually do bite you, but you're able to sort of throw it off as you dash. It does 5 piercing damage to you.
I attempt to eat that up. And do I have to make a concentration check?
DC 10.
My first roll is a crit fail 3, but I am Warcaster, so I'll roll
Yes,
again. And
advantage.
Get a 13.
Fantastic, so you keep concentration on that spell. Okay, so you have dashed the speed of your vehicle, which is 120 feet.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going, so I'm just going straight.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess Wizen knows where we're going.
Wizen is going in a specific direction.
Corbin just goes straight. He hits the gas and just guns it straight.
So you guys on the Ragawagon see as Corbin just peels out on the Devil's Ride, and behind him, these 2 enormous jets of flame, Batman style, to appear out of the engine, and he just peels out, and there is a literal, like, Back to the Future tire mark of flame on the ground. Corbin, about, oh god, 300 feet ahead of you, you can see that the road splits into 2 distinct directions, on the north side and on the south side. Please roll your complication.
I rolled a 1.
You spy out of the corner of your eye something sort of swooping down from the top of the canyon. It's got enormous bat-like wings and a sort of beak-like face. You've seen these kinds of things before in Elturel. You named one of them. You called it Sum. This is a Vrok. It is a demon that is not very pleasant to deal with, and it appears, I would say, 80 feet from your position.
That's not good.
I'm gonna say that you leave the abyssal chickens behind in the dust. They don't really run very fast. It is now Ophelia's turn.
I will once again load my harpoon and attempt to fire off, perhaps with better luck this time. The 6.
That will fail, unfortunately, and not hit a thing. So now you're down to 8 harpoons. Roll your complication for Renascence.
Come on, be a good roll. That is a critical 20.
Okay,
All
so
right.
nothing happens. Amazing.
Super safe.
I'm gonna fire 2 Eldritch Blasts at the bridge behind us.
Oh, nice.
First shot is a 15.
That'll hit.
Second shot is a 13.
That will bounce off of the infernal iron that it is made of.
Okay, 7 force damage to the bridge.
Okay, you see a char mark where your Eldritch Blast has hit the bridge. Maybe weakened it, you're not quite sure.
And a 17 on my complication roll.
Fantastic, that does nothing to Hylan, so you're in the clear. Hylan, it's your turn.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. I'm going to look around. I'm going to see, well, not see Corbin, but know he's on there because I heard Ilmater as he flew over us. I'm going to harpoon the bridge.
Oh, I should have used the fucking wrecking ball on the bridge. That was really stupid.
Or just totally somehow miss the bridge that's right next to it. I guess I just shoot a harpoon into some lava and no one knows why.
So yeah, unfortunately, it does not hit the bridge. Roll your complication.
That's an 8.
Okay, that's good because the next person in the order is the Barbed Devil, so they get this complication.
Great.
So they'll need to do that dexterity check again because the uneven ground that seems to be propping up all over the place for them is going to happen again. So they're going to need to roll exactly the same thing that they rolled before, which is the 4 dexterity checks to not slow themselves down. Yeah,
Great.
3 out of the 4 fail. So I'm going to say that the area in front of them, in fact, is difficult terrain, so it will slow them down.
Yay!
Yay!
So they cannot go their full speed on their turn. They will go half speed because of the difficult terrain. So instead of going 100 feet, they will go only 50 feet. However, one of them, not the driver of the vehicle, will shoot one of its harpoons at your Raga wagon. That's an 11, which bounces harmlessly off of your armor.
Yay!
That is one of their turns. The other 3 will throw their fire bolts at the closest people to them. 1 at Renascence, 1 at Ofelia, and 1 at Wizen. Renascence, a 14 to hit.
Miss.
Ofelia, 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
8 fire damage.
Ow!
If I throw my shield up in front of Ofelia, it blocks 4.
So of the 8, you only take 4.
Okay.
And then the last one hits Wizen with an 18, doing 11 fire damage. So that's the Barbed Devil on the Tormentor's turn. Wizen's turn. So complication from them is a 16. Nothing happens to Wizen. He guns the engine 100 feet. He looks over at you and he says, "You want to push it?"
Push it.
Okay. And then he just grabs one of the gear shifts and as a bonus action, dashes.
Awesome.
So that's 1 of the 7 dashes of this vehicle has been expended. So he'll go another 100 feet. Past Corbin. Yeah, he avoids the Vrock. Nothing happens to Lulu because he gets a 19. Lulu is out of spells, but she's keeping up her aura. She's cheering you guys on, and you look over at Lulu and she's got a little bit of a smile on her face. She's kind of enjoying this. She's gonna do a complication for the newest member of our initiative here, the Vrock. So Lulu rolled a 13. Nothing happens to the Vrock, but it is now the Vrock's turn. So the Vrock does swoop in. The Vrock will dash on its turn and come within engagement range of Corbin on the motorcycle. That's all it can do. If the pursuer is any more than 200 feet behind the quarry, the chase ends. Corbin is 240 feet away from the pursuer.
All right.
So does that mean the only thing chasing us
Is the Vrock. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
And maybe a gaggle of abyssal chickens, but you can outpace them anyway, so that's fine. You guys see in the distance the 2 enormous plumes of dust begin to subside, and you know that you are safe from these 2 vehicles. But the Vrock is still there. That said, the Vrock will roll its complication for Corbin. And that is unfortunate for Corbin because that is a 3. Corbin, you turn behind you to see this Vrock just basically it's swooping in, its beak ready to swallow you whole. And then you turn, and out of nowhere, streaking down from the red sky of Avernus, this tornado of fire, 15 feet wide on each side, so a 30-foot radius just appears, almost biblically. You need to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid it.
Doesn't sound good. That's good. A 9.
Because you failed it, I need you to now make a dexterity save from your vehicle, please, as you go straight into this fire tornado.
Oh, God.
I'm doing great. Oh, fire!
Here we go. Another 9.
Oh,
Oh my god.
no.
I feel real bad. Like you drive straight into a fire fucking tornado. Oh shit! Okay, so here's what happens. Each creature in the vehicle, I feel sick saying this,
Yeah, just
you're
say
gonna
it.
take a lot of fire damage. Like a lot.
Does he
You're
get
going-
another save here, or
No, unfortunately, because he's
Too
failed
many
twice
saves.
in a row.
Too many saves. I just
Too
figured
many
he would
saves.
he would keep making saving throws until he
Yep.
got a good result.
Nope, unfortunately not. Hold your breath, folks. This may be bad, this may be not so bad, who knows? Oh, it's bad.
Oh my god!
It is 94 fire
I have
damage.
never seen such a thing in my
And 3
life.
of them are ones, too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, so Corbin has 59 hit points and
thank God.
11 temps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not
So he
one-shotted,
doesn't-
but
he
you
doesn't
are
sp-
down.
He doesn't splatter.
Thank God. Thank
No,
God.
he drives into the fire tornado and drives out, and
It's just a skeleton on a motorcycle.
And I'm no longer invisible as I'm sure I lost my concentration. Oh, metal!
That was pretty metal.
holy shit.
Oh god!
Yeah.
All right, we gotta pull over. Pull over.
What happens when I crash on the motorcycle?
Okay, so here's what happens. The motorcycle skids to a stop and like it just pinwheels. You guys turn, you watch this thing just fly through the air, and Corbin's limp body falls to the ground out of it. Here's what happens when you crash on a motorcycle. You do take damage. Because you're unconscious, that is a single death save right there and then.
Jesus.
That is 2 bad dexterity saving
That
throws.
is a terrible thing to happen, but an amazing visual.
I
Yes.
am a god.
Yes.
Oh,
Corbin, please roll a complication for Ofelia. I'm sorry, even though you're unconscious, you still have to roll a complication.
Nice.
Nat 20. Now I roll a nat 20.
Ophelia.
Yes.
You have a scroll of mass healing word. Yes.
Oh shit.
I do.
Use it. Use it to
Oh
help.
my
Corbin.
god. Use it. Yeah, that's what I do. I totally forgot I had that. Thank you for reminding me.
What a
yes,
throwback.
absolutely. Fuck yes. I use my spell scroll of mass healing word right now.
Awesome.
1d4 plus 4. Everybody heal.
Yay!
Nice.
That's 4 friends, so that's everybody heals 8
Okay.
Thank you.
points.
Including
poor Corbin.
Corbin.
Well, there goes my my spell scroll. It is gone
All right.
now. There was
Yeah,
only
it
one.
disintegrates.
Thank
It disintegrates, but this was a very good time to use it. That was a bonus action. Ophelia picks up her violin and she prepares it to cast Vicious Mockery if the Vrock appears from beyond the flames.
Ophelia, please roll your complication for Renaissance.
That's a 12.
Okay, 12, you're fine.
All right.
Renaissance, your turn.
I bonus action unstrap myself to the station. I move to the edge of the still moving Ragawagon, and I am going to ready an action. If the Ragawagon stops, I run to Corbin.
All right. Make your complication for Hylan.
20.
Yay!
Hylan, your turn.
I just yell to Wizen, stop the car! I am also going to bonus action unbuckle my belt. And when the car stops, I will also run just to help Renascence to make sure we can definitely get Corbin back onto the Ragwagon.
Wizen uses his action to stop the car.
Okay, I jump off the Ragawagon. I run to Corbin. Would picking him up be a separate action?
Yes, it would be.
Okay, so here I am. That's what I am. I ran up to him.
No problem. And the same thing for Hylan.
Yep.
Lulu also flies out from the Ragawagon and comes close between the three of you, and you guys feel her aura like a beautiful glowing lamp light on all sides of you. She looks up in intense fear at whatever is coming either around or through this fire tornado in front of her. And she readies an action too. The Vrock will fly 60 feet around this tornado.
So, I cast Vicious Mockery,
Yeah.
and she says,
You think you're so tough, Rock, but we're gonna turn you into dust and rubble.
Wisdom saving throw.
DC 15.
Fails with an 11.
Yes! That is going to be 5 psychic damage and disadvantage on its next attack roll.
The Vrock is staggered for a second, lands on its 2 back feet. You see, obviously, in front of it are these enormous claws, which it will rake once at the closest creature to him, who is actually prone, and that is Corbin. Corbin's on the ground, so this will be an advantage.
But cancel because it does have disadvantage, so it's just a straight roll.
So it's just a straight roll. That's right, because of the
Vicious Mockery.
once because of the talons, and then it will attempt to stab you with its beak. Straight roll 15.
Yes, right off my breastplate.
Yep, and then it will stab its beak in your direction. That's a 19 to hit.
Oh, that gets through. Yep.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't because right as it tries to stab you, spectral metallic dragon wings glitch on for a second and block it. It gives you a +3 to your AC.
Fantastic. Awesome. That's its turn. Corbin, your turn.
We need to get away from this thing.
Yeah, get back on the wagon.
Corbin is going to disengage, and he is going to run towards the wagon and get on the wagon.
Make an athletics check to jump up there. This is 10 feet up.
12?
Not enough. You jump up to the side. Maybe that thing took a lot of wind out of your sails, and you're like, ugh, and you just slam against the side of the Raga wagon.
Bonus action. Corbin is just going to cast Healing Word on himself at level 1 or 5.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because you went unconscious, the Twilight Sanctuary went away, correct?
Everything's gone. I'm no longer invisible. I can no longer fly.
Okay. Ophelia, your turn.
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight with dissonant whispers. It is a DC 15 wisdom save. Okay, well, it's still gonna take half damage. It's gonna take 6 psychic damage.
The rock sort of chitters and screeches.
That's it for me for now.
Renascence, your turn.
I trace my fingers over the eye of my breastplate. I'm the shield against the endless terrors that lie behind the stars. And I am going to, this is kind of a Hail Mary, but I will channel divinity, abjure the extraplanar.
Nice.
Yes.
It must make a DC 14 wisdom save.
It fails.
Yay!
It is turned.
Yes! Amazing.
Awesome.
I say, leave it alone, let him run.
You just see fear spring in its eyes as it stares at your glowing chest plate, and the beautiful light emanating from your armor bathes this thing in this glowing miasma of power, and it just screeches and looks like it begins to back off a bit.
I say to Gargs in my head, you ain't taking everything, mate. I'll move back to try to get back in the Raga wagon, so that's athletics check for me.
Yes, please.
That's a 22 for Renascence.
You hop up, no problem.
I'll just move to give other people room.
Remind me about Abjure the Extraplanar. On its turn, it moves away, correct?
On its turn, it moves away, and it also has to continue to just dash away from me at max speed for a minute, and it gets no additional saving throws.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, we are up to Hylan.
Okay, I am going to bonus action disengage and run toward the Raga wagon and try to get on it.
Athletics check or acrobatics. I think Ophelia did an acrobatics check to get on there too.
That's a 21.
Do a back spring and then fly up on the air. Boom, and then grab on and hoist yourself up onto the side.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the station I was in, the harpoon station.
Assuming you strap yourself in.
Yeah.
It is now Wizen's turn.
Get ready to peel out as soon as everyone's on board.
I'm gonna ready an action to get the fuck out of here. He just grabs his goggles. You know what that means. And Lulu, seeing as everybody's leaving, and then she flaps back to the Raga wagon, ready to depart. The Vrock on its turn does exactly what Abjure the Extraplanar does to it. It splays out its massive vulture-like wings, and just edging the side of this enormous fire tornado, it screeches once, turns its back on you, and flies into the air, flying as fast as it possibly can, which is 60 feet, and then dashes. So yeah, 120 feet away from you, you barely see it. It's like a speck in the air at this point in time.
I don't know how we're alive.
I help Corbin back onto the Raga wagon.
Did you see that jump I did? I look really cool, right?
Yeah.
Hi everybody, the show will be back shortly for the second half. First, it's time to tell you about how you can play D&D with us. Would you like to participate in an apocalyptic death chase across the blasted hellscape like our heroes are doing in this episode? Cast Party's professional dungeon masters are available to hire for online games. We have games for kids as well as adults, and our DMs can run almost any of the official Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventures, as well as third-party adventures, and some we've created ourselves. With our Beyond D&D online game series, Cast Party is now branching out to play other tabletop role-playing games with you, including Pathfinder 2e, Blades in the Dark, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Alien, the role-playing game, Monster of the Week, and others. Check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook at CastPartyD&D, on Twitter at CastParty2, on Instagram at cast_party, or on TikTok at cast_party. Thanks very much for listening, and now back to our adventure in Avernus.
Did you get it, Corbin? Did you get the globe?
Oh yeah, this one. Yep.
And I take it out.
I exhale.
Forgot that part. What happened to the motorcycle? What's that
Never
fire?
mind. Don't look at that. Don't look at that.
It's
Wizen, drive. You drive.
Already on it, Chief. As Corbin produces this orb, it's a very interesting looking item. It's about the size of like a large watermelon, perhaps. It looks heavy. He has to hold it with two hands. It is completely opaque, completely spherical. You don't see any blemishes in its surface, and it is a very pure red color, as red as the surface of Avernus. And it is glossy and glowing with some kind of power that resides within it.
This is a magic item you have to attune to?
You want to attune to it? Be my guest.
Can Corbin fiddle with it to see if he can figure out what it is?
It does require attunement. You want to attune to an item that you haven't identified?
Can someone identify it?
Ophelia.
all right. I cast Identify.
As you cast Identify, it's time to make sure you go to the right place. Now, at this point in time, I'm assuming that you guys are going in the direction that Uldrak gave you, which is towards northern area of Avernus, which is basically an enormous dragon skull. We're talking like building-sized dragon skull. There is a tower. This tower has red and black inscriptions all over it. Arching arms that are coming out of it at random intervals. But compared to the dragon skull and whatever is inside of it, as you see that there are, at least on the map, inscribed flames or smoke that seems to be emanating from within inside the mouth of this dragon skull. Some kind of energy that the words Archon's Tower are inscribed by Uldrak on the map. And directly next to the skull, the monument to Tiamat.
I don't want to give this to him.
We don't even know what it does yet.
I don't want to get this any closer to him before we know what it is. I start to feel like a vibration in my body that is unpleasant the closer we get.
We would know by this point what it is.
Now, because we are traversing Avernus, and you do have a driver that knows where you're going, we do have to make a roll. Who wants to make the D6s roll?
I'll do it.
Just don't get the same number.
2 and a 6.
Fantastic. The travel seems to be going in the right direction. You pass the demon zapper. You feel like it's been a while, right? You feel like it's been like about 16 hours, and if you wanted to, you could either stop the car or take your chances and just keep driving through the night, but you could get a long rest.
How's everybody doing?
Not great.
Use a rest.
Try for the dome, Corbin?
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
So if we stop, Corbin will ritually cast Liamon's tiny hut.
By this time, you all look at Ofelia because Ofelia has this like look of shock on her face after she's cast Identify. Ofelia, when you cast Identify on this orb, first of all, you understand the name of it. That this is something called the Orb of Dragonkind. In your mind, you see a vast army of elves dressed in green and brown leathers and humans wearing shining plate mail, charging through a blasted heath, miles wide, against an implacable foe, a group of dragons. These dragons are a variety of colors. They are red, they are black, they are blue, they are white, they are green, but they are all working in tandem with each other. And they are all fighting against this army of good aligned creatures. And they are losing. The dragons are strafing them left and right, breathing their breath weapons upon their armies with terrible force. And you see the looks on the faces of these creatures, and they are filled with fear. All seems lost, when from their ranks, 5 beings step forward, and each of them have in their hands different colored orbs. One is black, one is red, one is green, one is white, and one is blue. As they raise these orbs into the sky, beams of light, the same color as these orbs, lance out and strike the dragon hordes. And you hear this intense, shrill shriek from this army of evil. The dragons are horribly wounded by the power issued forth from these orbs, and they flee in terror. The armies cheer with what they know is their saving grace. The 5 wizards step towards one another and present the 5 orbs in triumph towards the armies of good. The scene fades, and you now see these 5 orbs all being placed on altars in different areas of this world. And one by one, massive hammers are placed in the hands of gigantic wielders. And with tremendous force, these orbs, one by one, are destroyed. Except for 3. These 3 disappear from your vision, as if by some strange force that encircles them. And you know this orb is one of those 3. That it contains the essence of evil dragons. Specifically, those of red dragons. A presence that resents any attempt to coax its magic from it. And those lacking in force of will or personality might find themselves enslaved to it. It is an orb, a crystal globe of sorts. You see mist swirling inside of it, and when you attune yourself to an orb, you can peer into its depths and speak its command word. You then must make a charisma check. On the successful check, you can control the orb as long as you remain attuned to it. If you fail, you are charmed by it as long as you remain attuned to it. When you're charmed by it, you cannot end your attunement to it, and the orb actually controls your will with a version of suggestion that would urge you to work towards the evil ends that it desires. Dragon essence within the orb might want many things. Let's say the annihilation of a particular people, freedom from the orb itself. Let's say, for example, that you're charismatic enough to control the powers within the orb. The orb has 2 minor beneficial properties, 1 minor detrimental property, and 1 major detrimental property. It also has a whole bunch of spells in it that you can cast from the orb. Cure wounds, or daylight, or death ward, or scrying, or detect magic. And while you can control the orb, this is the best part, you can use an action to cause the artifact to issue a telepathic call that extends in all directions for 40 miles. Evil dragons in that range feel compelled to come to the orb as soon as possible by the most direct route. Dragon deities, such as, say, Tiamat, are unaffected, of course, by this call. But dragons drawn to the orb, well, you can do what you want with them.
Well, this is terrifying and wonderful. I have very mixed feelings, and it explains why she's sitting there with a state of shock. I relay the information that I saw in my vision and what I now know about the orb to the group, and I ask, what should we do with it now?
There's no way I'm giving this to him.
We have to give it to him.
We're not going to. We have to find another way. I cannot do that.
Why not?
You would be giving this power to somebody who, even in their right mind, would wish to do harm and could fall under the sway of this. Evil dragons are not to be trifled with. They can cause tremendous harm. We can't hand deliver this incredibly dangerous tool to an incredibly dangerous person.
He might be a good guy. We don't know.
Well,
Do we know him?
he's a servant of Tiamat, yeah?
I would be going against everything I believe in and everything that I am to do that, and I won't do it. I'm sorry, we have to find another way.
There might be another way, or a way we could render the orb harmless before giving it to him. It's a big risk, though. Only one person can attune to these things, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
So if one of us does it, and then we give it to him, it'll be an hour before he figures out he can't.
That is incredibly risky. If you do not succeed, then you'll be under its sway, and you probably just bring it anyway.
If someone attaches to it, how could we unattach them, from the outside?
We couldn't ever, because then he could use it.
No, I mean, like, if one of us tries it now and turns evil, is there magic we could use to, like, disconnect them from it?
I don't know.
That person would be incredibly powerful and difficult to overpower.
We'd have to tie them down and chain them up and then let them attune to it, and then...
It's an awful risk, but it might be better than just handing this to him.
I'll do it.
I don't think anybody should attune to it, and I don't think we should give it to him.
We need the blood.
We were told that there was another path that we didn't take.
How do we find the other path?
There was another way of freeing Rosella, and that was to go to the second of the two creatures that could potentially help you. First was Uldrak. The second was this mage of no renown at the obelisk, this black obelisk.
Fuck it. Let's try him. But Ofelia, if we fail there, I think you're our best chance. Yeah.
Ofelia.
Yes, Hylan.
I love you. You're very important to me. And you've done so much to help so many people. And if it gets a hold of you, I will have to kill you.
I know you will do the right thing.
It ain't going to come to that, because whoever this wizard is at the obelisk will make him sort it.
I like this plan. This Archon guy, though, I mean, if he can't attune to it, he'll kill who's ever attuned to it. So
yeah,
we have to fight him.
We'll have an hour. We'll have an hour to get away.
I'm sorry, I can't do this.
It's a mad plan, but I can't see any other way. Let's try the obelisk first.
Yeah.
All right.
Wizen, new destination. I thump on the hood.
Okay, where are we going?
Obelisk.
And he looks at the map. Does someone else want to roll the 2d6 since you're choosing a different destination?
Yep.
I'll do it. That's a 3 and a 5.
Nice.
When we wake up, Corbin would like to cast a spell.
Go ahead.
Corbin would like to cast Aid at 3rd level.
Nice.
He'll give each of his allies 10 hit points over their max.
Thank you.
Wizen wakes up, goes over to the Ragawagon, looks at it, and he goes, shit. Well, look at her. And he points to the back of the Ragawagon. And you guys look in the back where...
Minox, chewing on the power cable.
Oh, it's always Minox. Always.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You do see some of the internal wiring and sort of hoses that have been bitten, slashed, you're not sure, but something during the night definitely got at the Ragawagon. Wizen says, I mean, I can fix her. It'll just take, I guess, like an hour or so. Hold on one sec. Pulls out this enormous iron wrench and shoves his enormous bulk underneath the Ragawagon.
While he's doing that for the first 10 minutes, Corbin is going to sit on top of the Ragawagon and he's going to ritually cast Liamon's tiny hut over the Ragawagon to protect us while we're doing repairs.
Wizen peers out from underneath it and it's like, oh, yeah, that's good. Thanks very much. You hear him just like humming. Lulu sits on the edge. She's like, so we're just gonna sit here? Just gonna sit here and wait?
Lulu, you can flag us a ride.
You're funny. I like that. Flag us a ride. I just don't like being here on the open plains at all. She's looking around.
Yeah, me neither. Does it remind you of anything?
Everything kind of reminds me of something. And she starts to stare off into the distance. And she sort of flaps up a little bit. I'd like you all to make perception checks.
Stay in the dome.
Corbin rolled a 28.
Hylan got a 14.
Renascence got a 12.
Ofelia got a 22.
Ofelia, you follow Lulu's gaze. Corbin, you see it probably before any of them do. In the distance, running parallel to the course that you were intending to go, maybe a mile or so from your position, there are no fewer than 5, maybe more, 6, 7 infernal war machines running parallel with each other. Atop all of these war machines, there are huts and tents and buildings, it seems like. But it's all on top of these war machines that are driving through the plains of Avernus. You hear music, strange, sultry music, echoing through the plains of Avernus, coming from this massive group of machines.
Corbin tries to hum the music he hears so that everyone else can hear it.
Lulu looks at this staggering formation of vehicles and she says, I remember that. And she sort of flutters over to you, Corbin, and says, I think we're in luck, guys. And she points her trunk and she says, I think we're gonna find friends over there. For that, my friends, is the Wandering Emporium.
What's that?
It's probably the only place on Avernus that I've ever felt safe.
That sounds great.
I kind of remembered that there was this very stunning, very handsome man who I met in that place. His name was Mahadi.
Does any of this, like, ring any bells to me from lore, of any sort?
You could make an Arcana check.
She also has mentioned this way
absolutely.
back. So I'm looking at my little notes here.
Okay, so that's a 19 on Arcana.
Ofelia, you sort of remember other people back in Waterdeep at the College of New Olam talking about that there were wandering merchant shops in hell. Whether they were ill-intentioned or well-intentioned, that information is unknown, but one of them was called, supposedly, the Wandering Emporium.
If there's anything here that's making Lulu smile, I would love to see it.
Well, then I think we should go.
What do you guys think?
I slip off one of the 2 platinum rings, and I hand it out to Hylan. Made you something.
You made me this?
Yeah. Don't worry. We ain't giving him that orb. Now, I look around everybody. Let's do a shopping episode.
Hylan appreciates that.
Yeah.
As you hand off the ring, and as the rest of you sort of look around at the possibility of now going towards a place of rest, a place of safety, you hear the voice of Gargoth, the Hidden Lord.
Renascence, I find the nature of mortals hilarious. You know, of course, that your soul currently resides in your physical body per my intervention, and yet you choose not to let your compatriots know that you chose to take my hand and to stay. For what, I might ask?
You fucking tricked me. He was gonna bring me back anyway, and you fucking tricked me.
Trick? How did I trick you, Renascence?
You know what you did, Gargs. And now I'm stuck with you. And you're stuck with me.
And we're stuck with each other. At least until our compact is completed and your duty is ended.
I know what I gotta do, Gargs. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get you out of that shield, and then we'll settle up face to face.
Renascence, we've been together for a bit, so I feel like we have a personal bond. So I might ask you, why do you want to stay in this place?
Don't.
Well, you could have moved on, but you chose to stay. Why?
You'd love it, wouldn't you?
Oh no, because then I would be up Shit's Creek.
No, you wouldn't. You know who'd pick up that fucking shield if I'd left. You ain't getting him. You're mine, Gargs.
You wish to further your righteous ideals and schemes of good, yes? Save Elturel and all the people within it. To save those in need.
I'm gonna save my friends. I'm gonna save all them people hiding in High Hall. And I'm gonna fix you, Gargs. And I ain't gonna let you get Corbin. And I know that's what would have happened if I died. He'd have picked you up, and you'd have started your whispers and your lies. That's why I stayed.
Corbin has a whole other set of problems, shall we say.
Do tell.
Oh, I'll let him give you the details. I'm sure it'll come to some head at some point. But as I see that you've given this Asimar woman a ring, and I've watched the two of you blossom in your relationship, I can only call what feelings that you have for her love. Am I wrong?
You know how I feel.
Well, you do make a compelling, if somewhat varied couple.
So you know, if it comes to it, I'll send her home. I'll send them all home. And I'll stay here with you till the deal's complete.
So, what I'm hearing is that if you had to choose between love and duty it is, then.
There's always choices, Gargs. Just like that obelisk and that Arcan the Cruel. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, yeah?
Oh, for certain. And I may offer one last piece of advice to you, my friend. And then I'll shut up, as you say. Trust me, that duty requires sacrifices that we may not always be willing to make.
And then he goes quiet.
I try casting guidance on myself.
It doesn't work.
I just strap the shield back on my arm.
Thanks for listening. This episode featured the Dungeon Master stylings of Matt Gordon, Tal Aviezer as Renascence, Carolyn Fox as Hylan, Rachel Tamarin as Ofelia, and me, Andy Cannistra, as Painbearer Corbin Shiv. This episode was edited by Carolyn Fox and Tal Aviezer. Our theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DiMasso. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode of Descent into Avernus.
Hey guys, can we do me a favor and everybody just make their abyssal chicken sound so that I can have a sound for them attacking?
Oh my God.
I'll never find that. So
all at the same time?
We could, because I can just separate it out. It's a multi-track.
Probably easier to not do that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to all do it at once because I think we'll be more free with it.
Okay. Question. Do we want to sort of agree on any sort of convention of what?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I think we should just make a number of sounds.
Yourself. Express yourself.
We think it might
it's all
make.
chaos.
Okay. All right.
Great.
So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Holy shit. What is wrong with us?
I love us.